Hello YouTube viewers and subscribers. On my bench today I've got a couple of my Saito 80 sized engines. This one here is just your standard Saito FA-80, which dates back to the late 80s and probably made up through the early 2000s anyway. One of what I consider the classic series of engines. And this is a Saito FA-82b version. I've only run this engine one time and I wasn't super impressed with that run. I've never taken this engine apart or anything. I got this from a good friend and just ran it as it was. But today we're actually going to compare these two head to head and see if there's any real difference in performance. Now I've got a 14.6 APC prop installed on here, which is what I'm going to run on both of these. It's going to be the exact same prop. I'm actually going to use the exact same glow plug so I minimize anything that's different there. I was going back and looking at some other videos. Each of these had been run with a 14.6, but they had different fuels. I think last time I ran this, I ran it with 15%, and I ran this with 10%. Today I'm going to run both of these with that S&W fuel, the 5%, and we'll see how the performance difference is. Now, there is a huge difference in the weight of these engines, which I'll be putting up on the screen here now. The FA-80 weighs almost 2 ounces more than the 82, so that's part of one of those things that engine manufacturers have been doing in the last decade or 2 decades, is try to make more power with less weight. And that's what they've done here with this 82B. So let's take them out and see how each of them runs. Okay, so there you go. The two runs of these two Saito 80 sized engine, the first being the Saito 82b, this being the Saito 80. I know it's going to be hard to actually determine or see, hear, feel on video, but just being here and running these two engines, I've always had a soft spot in my heart for these older Saitos. And now this is not the high compression Saito 80, it's the latest version Saito 80 they made. But to me it just seems like a little bit higher quality engine. The 82 seemed like it made a lot more noise, just didn't feel quite as solid. There's just something about it. It's just one of those things where you really just have to be there to feel it and see it that you're really not going to be able to pick up on in the video. Now I did have a couple of issues on each of these runs. The 82, this started to loosen up and that was part of the noise I was hearing, but it was still just the general feel of that engine. And then of course this thing dropped down and started to get loose too. So I'm only going to put in the good parts of those runs, the idle and transition, peak RPM. To me, just going from memory, it looked like both maxed out about the same peak RPM, but as far as overall handling, starting, they seemed pretty equivalent. You know, in my book, an extra 2 ounces or 1.8 ounces of weight for this engine over the 82 is not a big deal in any airplane application. And just the way this engine feels, being a little bit better feel than the 82, I still prefer the 80 over the 82 any day. So that's a comparison of these two Saito 80 size 4-stroke engines. Let me know what you think. Thank you.